Hello everyone and welcome back to more Saya no Uta. So we're back here at the choice screen. Obviously in the last video we picked that we wanted it all back and we got a particularly sad ending. But there's one thing that I know about this game that I've heard from many people talking about is that there is no happy ending to the game. So I don't know what to expect from this one, but we're going to go with don't need it anymore. On that terrifying day when I first opened my eyes after the accident, what would my answer have been? When I think back on this day many years from now, will I wish that my answer had been different? It doesn't matter. Here at this moment, there is no doubt in my mind. Who was that? I asked Saya, looking at the unidentifiable pieces of the monster.
隣の家に住んでたおじさん。名前は知らないけど。
A man living next door. I don't know his name though.
Suzumi-san ka.
Oh, so it was Suzumi-san. He wasn't a stranger, of course. I'd spoken with him any number of times and had even been friendly with him before the accident. And now I've killed him with my own two hands. I feel little. Suzumi-san, the kindly painter who lived next door, is but a distant memory. The pieces of meat around me, on the other hand, belonged to a loathsome creature whose mere existence was nauseating. Only by killing the vermin could I find relief. He complained about my yard being filthy or something, didn't he? The swine. It doesn't matter what Saya did, he wasn't worth keeping alive anyway. Good riddance. These are my honest feelings. Even with a man's blood covering my hands, I am completely calm. Now I know what I lost in the accident. Saya says that I can take it back, but I know that I cannot. It is gone forever, like the life of the man called Suzumi.
なあ、さや。僕の異常を治すことは医者には絶対できないことだったんだ。
Hey, Saya. No doctor could possibly fix my condition, you know.
Fuminori?
人間にできないことを簡単にできるっていう君は人間じゃないんだね。
You can do easily what no human is capable of. You're not human, are you?
Oh.
Saya looks away, her expression unreadable. Everything appears warped to my eyes, only Saya looks normal. I thought that she was somehow unique. However, I was wrong. I see her just as I do everything else, as something completely different than what she really is. Saya is who she is because of who I am, just like I said a few minutes ago. It's nothing to be surprised about. I stand and walk over to Suzumi's dismembered corpse.
昔読んだ漫画でさ、事故から生き返ったせいで世界が当たり前に見えなくなる男の話があった。今の僕みたいにね。
I read this manga a long time ago. It was about a man who recovered from an accident, only to find that he could no longer see the world as it was. Kind of like me. I finally realised that even though the stench of these monsters' flesh turns my stomach, their blood and guts smell pretty good. In fact, I know this fragrance quite well.
その男の目には人間が石くれに、機械のロボットが美女に見えるんだ。
He saw people as rocks, and robots as beautiful women.
だから男は人とは似ても似つかないロボットに恋をしてしまうんだ。
And so he fell in love with a robot that wasn't even remotely human. I retrieve the cleaver, pick up one of the pieces of Suzumi's body, and start removing the skin and tendons. Ah, just as I thought. The stuff underneath looks exactly the same as what Saya and I have been eating.
まあ、これうまそうだし食べちゃおうか。
Hey, this looks pretty good. Why don't we eat it?
Fuminori.
So now he's knowingly being a cannibal.
あ、ごめん。今はそんな気分になれないよね。
Oh, sorry. You're in no mood for that now, are you?
でも、死んじゃえば肉は肉だし、捨てるのももったいないと思わないか。また冷蔵庫にしまっておこうよ。
Now that it's dead though, meat is meat. It'd be a waste to throw it away, wouldn't it? Let's get it in the fridge.
あなたはいいの？
Is that right with you? I guess it makes sense, like, in order to be with her and stay this way, he has to accept that this is what it's going to be like. He's going to have to eat flesh because it's the only thing that doesn't turn his stomach, and it means he can be with Saya, I guess.
いいよ。
Sure, I answer easily. There is no longer any room for doubt in my mind after all.
あと、隣の家に奥さんと娘さんがいるはずなんだ。旦那がいなくなったら騒ぐかもしれないし、通報される前に飼っとこうと思うんだが。
I really don't like this version of Fuminori though, because he's so cold to humanity, and even though he doesn't see them as humans, he is still a human. So it's kind of a bit off to me that he would accept being this way towards other humans so readily. Also, his wife and daughter are probably next door. They might cause trouble when he doesn't come home. I think we'd better hunt them down before they go to the police. I don't think you have to worry about that, he's already off them.
そんな風であなたはいいの？
Is that really what you want? Saya asks again, this time with a trace of fear in her voice. I guess I still haven't convinced her of my sincerity.
さっきの漫画の話だとね、人でないものを愛した男は最後に自分が人間であることをやめて恋を成就させるんだ。
I see, so I suppose this is exactly what he's doing. It makes sense to him. So, at the end of this manga, the man who fell for something inhuman gave up his own humanity for the sake of their love.
ハッピーエンドだよ。だろ？
A happy ending, don't you think?
ふみのり。
さやと一緒にいられるのなら、僕はもう何もいらない。何もかもこのままでいい。
As long as we're together, I don't need anything more. Everything is fine the way it is. Tossing the knife and meat aside, I pull Saya into my arms once more.
言ってもいいよね。さや、君のこと愛してる。
I can say it now, can't I, Saya? I love you. As Saya tries to wipe away the tears that keep flowing from her eyes, I can no longer see any hint of fear in her face.
あなたのこと後悔させたくないのに。なのに。
I don't want you to regret this. I don't, but... I have sworn my oath, and Saya has accepted it. We have nothing to be afraid of now. Saya will never need to cry again.
でも嬉しい。私って身勝手だよね。
Even so, I'm happy. I guess I'm pretty selfish, aren't I? I don't think it's selfish because it's what he wants as well.
身勝手でいいよ。さやのわがままなら聞くよ、僕は。
I don't mind. I'll always indulge your selfishness, Saya. Filled with contentment, we exchange a smile and set to the task of cleaning the room. A single person produces a lot more meat than I expected. Speaking of which, I seem to remember doing something similar before.
あとの2人だけど、多分おじさんが殺してる。悲鳴とか聞こえたし。
About the other two. I think he killed them. I heard their screams. How would they go about cleaning the kitchen, by the way? Because I'm guessing Suzumi left a lot of blood on, like, everywhere. But how can they tell where it is when everything looks like flesh and blood? It would just be super hard, wouldn't it? So even if somebody walked in, they'd still see blood everywhere. I mean, unless Saya's, like, really, really thorough.
そうか。そりゃ好都合だ。
Well, that makes things easier. After we finish here, we should go gather the meat from the Suzumi house. That should be enough to hold us for a while. But can we pack it all into the refrigerator? Of course, we can just use the refrigerator next door. Okay. Let's spread our love of human flesh across the neighborhood.
この写真知ってる？
This picture, I recognize it. After we finish our labours and get into bed, I show Saya what I found in the Ogai house.
この一枚見覚えがあるよ。確かにさやの知ってる場所。
This one looks familiar. Yeah, I've definitely been there. The photograph that Saya has selected from the three is the one with the Tochigi Prefecture address written on the back.
これは家だよね。それと木と山。
そう。ふみのりすごいね。写真も見られるようになった？
This is a house, right? I see trees and mountains. Yeah, wow, Fuminori, you can see pictures now?
まあね。
A little. At the outset of my ordeal, I had to depend entirely on my sense of distance to decipher what I saw. The houses in front of me, the mountains far behind them, the clouds high above. Only distance and scale told me what they were. Photographs and other flat images used to be completely incomprehensible to me. Recently, however, I've gotten better at understanding what things are by their shape. I know what the mountains and sky look like, for example, and how they are different from the buildings. Each of the three pictures show a similar scene, a lone house in the middle of a forest. They must be vacation retreats or something.
パパはね、別荘だって言ってた。ここにいれば誰にも見つからないって。
Dad called it his cabin. He said that no one would find us there. If the addresses on the back of the photos belong to each building, then they probably are excellent places to stay hidden from prying eyes. But why three? The dates are pretty old, and it seems odd that they were all taken within a few days of each other. Maybe he was taking photos of houses he was thinking of buying in order to determine which one would be the best candidate for his hideaway. And Saya only recognises one of the houses, so Ogai decided on the house in Tochigi Prefecture at S-Town. Checking the location on a road map of the Kanto area, I find that it's about 3 hours out of Tokyo by car.
お父さんがここにいる可能性は？
Do you think your father will be there?
電話してみたけど出なかったよ。多分いないと思う。
I tried calling him, but he didn't answer. I don't think he's there.
でも最近に立ち寄ったことはあるかもしれないよね。
But he might have stopped by recently. The way I see it, the only way out of this deadlock is to take whatever chance we have, no matter how small. The probability of there being a clue to Professor Ogai's whereabouts in this villa is very low, but it's not zero.
明日にでも行ってみようかな、ここ。
I think I'll check this place out tomorrow. Saya pouts. I wasn't expecting Saya to object.
でもここ遠いんでしょ？
Oh, she's sad that we're going to be leaving her for a while. But isn't it far away?
行って調べて帰ってきても、まあ半日もあれば十分さ。
It'll only take about half a day to go there, check it out and come back.
その間、さやはお留守番なの？
I'll have to stay home by myself while you're gone. So that's what it is. Slightly exasperated, I smile and rub Saya's head.
少しは我慢してくれよ。な？さやだってお父さんのこと見つけたいんだろ。
Be a little patient, okay? You want to find your father too, don't you?
うん。
After a brief silence, during which her expression is hard to decipher, Saya timidly looks up at me and says,
ねえ、ふみのり。パパのことはもういいよ。
Hey, Fuminori, let's forget about Dad.
え？
I'm completely blindsided by this.
いいって、でも君のお父さんだろ？心配じゃないのか？
Forget about him? But he's your father, right? Aren't you worried about him?
いいの。私にはもうふみのりがいるし。
Not anymore, Saya says, coming closer to feel my warmth. I have you now.
パパって言っても本当の意味でのお父さんっていうわけじゃないの。
I call him Dad, but he's not really my father.
さやのことを教育してくれたし、ある意味では愛してくれてたのかもしれないけど、でもふみのりの方が優しくてあったかい。
He taught me a lot and probably loved me in his own way, but you're kinder and warmer. Saya's words make me happy, but I also feel the loneliness in them.
本当に僕だけでもいいのか？
Are you really alright with just me?
うん。ふみのりは嫌？ さやと二人っきりじゃ。
Yeah, you don't like it just being the two of us?
いや、でも、そうだな。やっぱり、大貝教授には会ってみたい。
Saya, he wants to ask his permission to marry you. You know, even though he'll probably see him as some horrific blood monster that he doesn't want to interact with at all. I do, but I also want to meet Professor Ogai. How would he even have a wedding ceremony? Would they like elope? How would they do the ceremony? It would mean they'd have to interact with people, and even though Fuminori looks normal, Saya obviously doesn't look normal. Having finally figured out how to explain my feelings, I continue.
さやのことをもっとよく知りたいから、僕以外にさやのことを知ってる人がいるなら、ぜひ会ってみたい。
I want to get to know you better, Saya. If there's someone who knows more about you than me, I have to meet them.
そうなんだ。
I see. Saya doesn't seem angry, but she does tilt her head quizzically, as though my thoughts are strange to her.
それに、やっぱり明日、この場所に行ってみよう。
And I also want to... Yeah, I'm going to check it out tomorrow. Another plan has started to form in my mind, one separate from the search for Professor Ogai. If I find the professor there, great. If I don't, well, I think I can find another use for his mountain retreat.
さや、寂しいかもしれないけど、ちょっと我慢して待っててくれ。
I know you'll be lonely, Saya, but try to bear it for a little while. Okay, she nods, then looks questioningly into my eyes.
やっぱりふみのりにはさ、家族とか友達とかもっともっと大勢いた方がいいのかな。
Fuminori, you really want a family and friends, more people you can spend time with, don't you?
そりゃ、その方が楽しいだろうね。
Well, that would be more fun, yeah. Fearing that Saya will start sulking, I hurriedly add,
でも勘違いしないでくれよ。たとえそういう人たちに囲まれて暮らしてたとしても、さやだけは僕にとって特別な一人なんだからね。
But don't get me wrong, even if I could have lots of friends and family, you'll always be special to me.
ありがとう。
I know. Thanks. Giggling, Saya rubs her cheek against mine.
さやもふみのりが喜びそうなこと、ふみのりのためだけに頑張るからね。
I'll find something to make you happy, something just for you. Today, all of Koji's classes were in the morning. On his way to meet Yo for lunch after his final lecture, Koji suddenly gets a phone call in the middle of the hallway. Without thinking, he reaches to his belt for his new camera phone, but curses when he realises that the ringtone is coming from the old phone in his bag. He bought a camera phone to see what all the rage was about, but couldn't bring himself to discard his simple, much easier to use old phone, so he ended up walking around with both. He hasn't transferred his contacts list yet, and calls still come to his old phone from people who don't know the new number. When he finally fishes the phone from his bag, the name he sees on the display sends a chill up his spine. Fuminori. Well, what could Fuminori possibly want from Koji? Interesting. Why now? What does he want? It's hard for Koji to be happy about a call from Fuminori now, long after he gave up on such a thing ever being possible.
はい。
いや、コージ。今日はもう講義はないよな。
Hey, Koji, you're done with class for today, right?
ああ、
Yeah. Of course, Fuminori would know that Koji always has a lot of free time on Thursday afternoons.
相談がある。駐車場に来てくれないか？
Somehow I think this is a dodgy prospect. I have something to talk to you about. Can you come to the parking lot?
今すぐにか。
Now?
あ、待ってる。
Yeah, I'll be waiting. Fuminori hangs up without another word. What's gotten into him? What does he want? Koji wonders as he sticks the phone into his jacket pocket. This sudden change is disturbing after a week of Fuminori clearly trying to avoid both Koji and Yo. Maybe he's finally ready to talk, in which case Koji should probably consider this a good thing. Well, he still thinks that Fuminori is the person who is the cause of his girlfriend's disappearance, so why would he consider it a good thing to be talking to him? However, he can't shake his unease completely.
待たせたか?
Anyway, guys, I think this is a good time to end the episode before anything crazy happens. If you guys have enjoyed, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. And until next time, guys, goodbye!